Yo, yo, yo. What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Who Asked Y'all To podcast. We back again. Christmas is almost here. Happy holidays, everybody, from your boys, Chris Porter on this side, my good brother M. Dot on this side. Episode 9 of the Who Asked Y'all To podcast. How you feeling this evening, bro?
Good, bro. I'm glad you mentioned Christmas is around the corner for those who celebrate it. Merry Christmas for those who celebrate the other holidays. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
I can't even complain, man. Like, me and the wife, we're getting everything ready for hosting Christmas Day with the family, and that's gonna be a good thing. It's gonna be a good time. It just shows you got to be grateful for the things that you have and for the things that you're able to provide for one another, because some people don't have that opportunity and that chance. So I'm thankful. I'm thankful right now. What about you, bro?
100%. Listen, me and my girl here, we getting ready. We all ready for the holidays. Ready to celebrate with the family and all my loved ones and stuff. Definitely, like we said, happy holidays to everybody, no matter what holiday it is that you celebrate. Looking forward to seeing all the fam. So yeah, listen, I wasn't in the spirit last episode, but I'm definitely there this episode. So we ready.
Bet. All right. So,
My
go ahead.
bad. But
Go ahead,
before
bro.
you go, right, I was going through the comments on one of our episodes, and somebody had and listen, you can do that when it's not a lot of comments on the episode,
Yeah.
right? I was going through the comments, and somebody was like, "Dear YouTube, please stop suggesting conservative black platforms to us."
Oh
And
wow.
I'm like, hold on.
Oh wow.
We might be opinionated, and obviously we might feel how we feel about certain topics, everything like that. But we we are all inclusive on this platform. We don't lean one way or the other. I mean, we feel we have our views and everything like that, and that's always going to be how we feel. We're going to represent what we what we feel. But I don't. It bothered me to just get labeled as strictly a conservative platform when we try and give
Wow.
perspective from all
Crazy.
sides. Like
Yeah. That's
we try and
wow.
represent it from all sides. You know what I mean? So it's like, listen, if that's what you get, if that's what you've gotten from this point, is that we a conservative platform, and you're just not listening. You're not really
Yeah.
actually taking in the content, because we give it from every side. We don't, you know what I mean? We give how we feel, and that,
Yeah.
it might be conservative on one end, it might be a little bit more liberal on the other side, depending on the topic or whatever it
Yeah.
may be. But I mean, if you just go on strictly base it
That's crazy.
politically as far as being a conservative platform, I can't even begin to understand where that came from. If you're not watching, you're not listening. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. And I think that could be said because a lot of the topics we have covered is because of the Republican primaries that's happening. That's been a lot of news coverage lately. There hasn't been any Democrat talking points or talking about, because there's nothing we can't. We don't have anything to talk about. There's no other candidates to talk about in the Democratic Party because Biden is the only one running. We talked about Newsom. We talked about Newsom versus Sanders. We gave our highlights on how we felt about it. So if you're thinking this is just a black conservative platform, I mean, it's not. I can raise my hand and say, yes, I'm a conservative, but this is not just strictly for black conservatives. It's not. It's for everybody. This platform is for everybody to come listen, take what they see, utilize it, take the information we're given, because we're giving current stuff, we're giving factual data, and we're giving things that people want to know about. Take it and get what you get what you get from it. Okay, this is not something where we're one-sided and that's it. We've never been that. This is Who Asked Y'all To podcast. So it's opinions about how we feel about things that are going on currently in the world, currently that affect us, and currently in the political culture and new current event atmosphere. So it's something that, from somebody to say that, it's really wild, because we never came out and said we're strictly conservatives. We never came out and said we're just this person. I've said, I can admit, and I've said I like this person because I'm a conservative, but Chris has never said that.
And
we've never said
you allowed to, but you allowed to express your views. As that's why we here, is to express our views. It's not, but and that's always going to be how we represent ourselves. We'll express how we feel about whatever topics it is that we're discussing for that week, and that's what it is. But I like the fact that you said that unfortunately, but not unfortunately, like right now, a lot of news is Republican based or surrounding Republican topics.
It's the hottest thing. That's the hottest thing going right now.
It's just what it is based on what's happening in that party. So it's like, I mean, like I said, I don't even think that the person who commented that watches us on a regular basis. So I'm not. I wasn't tripping, but it was just like, damn, man, don't do that. And we only 9 episodes in. Like, don't do that.
It's crazy because our last episode was all wrestling. Our last episode was no politics. It was all wrestling. Our last episode was all wrestling. Majority of it. Literally. That was a conversation between two avid wrestling fans talking about what they love and what they grew up on. Our last few episodes before that, that's been about sports. Like, people forget, we talk about sports. We cover football. I'm a Cowboys fan. You're an Eagles fan. Like, and I get it. If you think you're just getting out of it as black conservative stuff, okay, fine. Take what you get from it. Okay, cool. If you don't like that, go to the other episodes and see what you like from that. Or if you don't like it at all, okay, recommend us to somebody that may fit that criteria that you're talking about. That's all we talk about. But this is not just a conservative platform. It's just not. We talk about too much other things to be just a conservative platform. So just to clear that record straight. So to that viewer, hopefully you continue to watch. We talk about all these other things. We don't want to lose you as a viewer, but if you don't like what we talk about, just you can give us suggestions on other things to talk about. But this is our platform. We're gonna dictate how we want to talk and what we're gonna say. And if it's something that causes you to be upset or whatever the case may be, then don't watch what we talk about. Simple as that.
Sure, man. But let's get back to the main point. What we got for the people this week?
All right, so we got a good lineup today. So we're gonna cover about 4 things today. We're gonna try to keep some of them brief, and we're gonna expound on a couple things. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is Biden. So to that viewer, we're talking about Biden. We're talking about your guy. So we're talking about Biden and how someone hit his motorcade this past week. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about Trump being banned from the Colorado polling. So he's not allowed. He's not going to be on the Colorado primaries due to what happened on January 6th. We're going to dive into deep about that. We're going to talk about Jonathan Majors. If you guys aren't familiar with Jonathan Majors, an actor. He was Kang in Marvel. He played Kang in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. And then they were coming out with a Kang. It was going to set up for cinematic Avengers Phase 3. It was going to set up for that whole phase of new characters and everything like that. So he just got convicted of reckless endangerment and a couple other things. So we're going to talk about that. And then lastly, we're going to give our review on the newly highly favored movie starring Mahershala Ali and Julia Roberts with Ethan Hawke and Kevin Bacon. It's called Leave the World Behind. Now, if a lot of people don't know, it's a movie that was on Netflix. This movie is based on a novel. I forget the author's name, based on a novel, but the movie had a little bit of directorial insight from the Obamas. If you guys don't know who the Obamas were, President Obama, Barack Obama, was our president before Trump. He was the first black president, and they provided some insight with this movie. So we'll get into all that. But yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today. It's going to be very interesting. So we're just going to dive right into it with Biden. So Biden, man charged, this is from CNN, man charged with DUI after crashing into motorcade vehicle at Biden campaign headquarters. So pretty much what happened here, guys, in Wilmington, Delaware, a man crashed into Biden's presidential motorcade causing damage to both vehicles and startling the president. The driver of the striking vehicle, 46-year-old Wilmington man, has been charged with driving under the influence of alcohol and inattentive driving after an investigation by the Wilmington police. The collision, described as accidental, occurred at approximately 8:09 p.m., and there was no protective interest associated with the event, meaning it was not intentional. The Secret Service confirmed the incident, stating that the president's motorcade departed without incident and the crash was not related to any security threat. President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden were visiting the president's 2024 campaign headquarters before the incident, marking the first visit since staffers began working there over the summer. Chris, how do you feel about that?
I don't feel any way about it. I mean, it's unfortunate to hear, and hopefully everybody is, all right. It's important to if you've had one too many drinks, it's important to call yourself an Uber, man. Glad to hear that it sounds like nobody was injured. So that's awesome to hear. I don't like to hear about our president being involved in a motor vehicle accident. So you never want to hear that. But again, if you've known that you've had a little one too many, it is very, very important to make sure that you call yourself some sort of transportation, some sort of ride, whatever that platform may be, whatever that means may be. You never want to get behind the wheel of a vehicle if you're under the influence of anything, but especially alcohol or anything like that. And I'm not even sure if you said it was alcohol related, but it sounded like it was alcohol related.
Yeah, DUI. The guy was drunk.
Okay. Yeah. So then, yeah, you don't want to be behind the wheel of a vehicle under the influence of alcohol. You want to be responsible. Like I said, thank goodness that President Biden and all those with him were okay. And I don't recommend anybody going to drive in Wilmington. So there you go.
Yeah, I think this is as much as we can expound on it. But I think it's an accident. The guy was drunk. He thought he could handle his driving, and ended up slamming into the wrong motorcade, slamming into Biden's motorcade, and it happened, man. It's an accident. Like the article said, it wasn't a security threat. It wasn't like the person was driving towards trying to hurt or harm the president. It was an accident. The person was drunk, didn't know they were inebriated as much, and they hit the car. So I hope that that person is charged and convicted with DUI, and he faces the punishment that is necessary. But I hope that nobody thinks this was more than what it is. The article clearly states the Secret Service, this guy was not trying to assassinate or trying to do any harm towards the president. So let's just keep it that way and allow it to be what it was. This person was DUI drunk, hit the car by accident. That's pretty much it.
What we got next?
All right, so next we're gonna get into Donald J. Trump. So we're gonna talk about, this is from the New York Times article titled, Trump is disqualified from 2024 ballot. Colorado court science and explosive ruling. So pretty much, I'll go through a couple things from. God damn it! I'll go through a couple things from what happened, and then my dang headphones every time. I'll go through a couple things from what happened, and then I'll get Chris's opinion, and then we'll kind of elaborate on it. So the Colorado Supreme Court has ruled that Donald Trump is ineligible to hold office again, marking the first court decision stating that Trump engaged in insurrection, which could have significant implications for the 2024 election. So if you guys don't know, January 6th was something that happened to this country, a very powerful event that happened where individuals of different races, Trump supporters, people that just didn't understand what was happening with the election. So they stormed the Capitol, and pretty much caused a whole uproar and a whole disarray, and caused a lot of issues. So from that, they're saying Trump caused that to happen, which is why they don't want him on the ballot no more in Colorado, because he's violated some laws, because he supported an insurrection happening. So that's what that's about. So To continue on with the article, the court found that in Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, disqualifying those who engage in insurrection against the Constitution after taking the oath applies to Trump. The ruling directs the Colorado Secretary of State to exclude Trump's name from the state Republicans' primary ballot, but does not address the general election. The decision is expected to be appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court, potentially making it a landmark case with national implications for Trump's eligibility. The Colorado Supreme Court justified its decision, emphasizing the weight of the question and the duty to apply the law without being swayed by public reaction. The ruling is put on hold until at least January 4th, anticipating an appeal to the United States Supreme Court. The outcome could influence the eligibility question on a national scale. Legal experts suggest that the Supreme Court may be compelled to take up the case due to its national importance. The U.S. Supreme Court, with a 6-3 conservative majority, is already facing significant political pressure and scrutiny for various Trump-related matters. Trump's campaign plans to appeal and the ruling has sparked strong reactions, with Republicans criticizing it as a left-wing interference and Democrats viewing it as necessary to protect democracy. Lastly, the decision has the potential to impact Trump standing in the 2024 primary, Republican primary, and key rivals such as Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley suggest it represents an abuse of judicial power. Chris, how do you feel about it, bro?
Unprecedented, man. Unprecedented, to say the least. It's kind of crazy because we've just been hearing about a whole bunch of unprecedented stuff
Right.
over the last few weeks or so. So it's kind of it's eye-opening to see. Not at all surprising. But it's just so like it's so layered to me. Like, it's so layered. Because on the one hand, most people, I mean, some Republicans still defend Trump as far as January 6th goes. He'll always have his defenders as far as that goes, but for the most part, most people kind of acknowledge the fact that he has engaged in insurrection. The the part for me that like makes it a little bit weird, because I try to be as consistent as possible all across the board, right? I don't really try and be preferential on any side. Obviously, I lean more liberal, regardless of neither here nor there, right? But so like, he hasn't necessarily been convicted of engaging in insurrection just yet.
Nope.
Now, although the way based on some things that I've been listening to, I don't think that the 14th Amendment requires that he be convicted of insurrection to actually be found to have engaged in insurrection. And so that's where Colorado is coming from in terms of why that they can do this at this time. That being said, though, it's like, to your point about his rivals Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis, they're the ones who benefit the most from this, because that's one less state that they have to worry about even having competition from Trump. And so it just I can understand why it would rub certain Republicans the wrong way, just because of the simple fact that if you take him off the ballot, if you take him off of the ballot altogether, then what happens to people in Colorado who want to vote for him? What do? Are they forced at that point to just choose a candidate that they wouldn't necessarily have voted for in the first place? So I get it why he should be held accountable for his actions, because at the end of the day, he did what he did. He engaged in the conduct that he engaged in, and there should be repercussions for that. So I totally agree with that. It's just it's a little like it's just hard to wrap your mind around it when you think about a democracy as a whole, and voters being able to choose who they want to vote for in an election where there are XYZ candidates, So it's tough, man. I get it, but it's tough for sure.
I think with this whole January 6th thing, I think people are forgetting like the videos come out. Like there's footage, there's real footage now of what really took place in January 6th. Like footage from the Capitol. Excuse me, footage from the Capitol showing the so-called insurrection taking place, and it didn't look like an insurrection to me. It looked like people were being told, "All right, you go here," from Capitol Police, being led to these places, being led here. It didn't look like because what insurrection is people coming with violence, storming a state building, a federal building, and utilizing that as some type of leeway or leverage to get what they want. So I didn't see that from the footage. I'm going by the footage.
Man.
I'm going by the footage.
I'm going by the footage I saw too, man. I'm gonna have to send you some videos there, man.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna have to send you some videos.
Not from what I've seen. Now, is Trump responsible for this? Well, he hasn't been convicted yet, so it's all alleged. What Colorado's doing is they're pretty much utilizing a loophole in the law where it's like, all right, he hasn't been convicted, but there's enough evidence that shows maybe this did happen. So, let's go ahead and remove him from the ballot. Now, what does that do to the voter? Like you eloquently put it, it takes the power out of their hands, and they can't vote for who they want to vote for. So if there's Colorado voters that want to vote for Trump, they can't. So now you're limiting the power of a voter who's the citizen who pays taxes, who actually pays the money for the government to run and do what they got to do. You're taking that power away from that citizen. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. It's a right. It's a right that you're born with. It's a right granted to you by the Constitution to vote for a candidate, whoever candidate you want to vote for. But now they're taking a candidate from you that you like or you want to vote for. That's a problem. So I think that a lot of states are probably going to follow suit, and they're going to do the same thing Colorado's doing. They're going to try to figure out, all right, let's try to get them off the ballot because Colorado made the first move. They made the first jump.
I'm glad you brought that up because I actually I think I got some stuff here for you in regards to that. I'm reading from an article from NPR. What's next after Colorado? Here's where other challenges to Trump's candidacy stand. I'm trying not to read all of it. Let me see where's a good place to start. All right, I'm just read these first couple. All right, so legal challenges to Donald Trump's eligibility on the 2024 Republican primary ballots are underway in more than a dozen states. To basically your previous point there, each seeks the same result as this week's historic decision by the Colorado Supreme Court to disqualify the former president from that state's ballots. The lawsuits filed by a variety of plaintiffs and legal groups all focused on a little-used clause of the 14th Amendment that dates back to the Civil War era and disqualifies from office anyone who engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the United States. They argue that Trump's actions around the attack on the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021, when a mob of supporters swarmed the Capitol building in an attempt to prevent Congress from formalizing Joe Biden's presidential election victory, constituted an insurrection. Litigation is pending in 13 states, and challenges are being appealed in 2 others, crucial swing states Michigan and Arizona, according to Lawfare, a nonprofit law and policy analysis publication tracking the lawsuits, and Maine, where state law requires the Secretary of State to preside over ballot challenges. A declaration on Trump's eligibility is expected in the coming days. So, again, to your previous point there, it sounds like double-digit states are looking to do the same thing at this point.
Yeah.
So it's I do think it sets an ugly precedent. Like I said, though, from what I saw, there was an insurrection on January 6, 2021. It's going to be hard for me to actually co-sign that it wasn't. But with that being said, man, if the consensus at this point has been declared that there was at least some form of insurrection that happened on January 6th, and it was preempted or it was prompted by rhetoric from Donald Trump. That's just my only thing, is that he's going to have to deal with the consequences that come from that. Those people don't show up at the Capitol that day if he didn't tell them to show up at the Capitol that day, regardless of whether it was, I don't know, staged or whether or not it was violent or not violent. They showed up at the Capitol that day when there was an actual legal proceedings happening at that time. And so what do you expect? Like, I mean, and I'm sure he didn't expect this, but you had to expect that people wasn't going to sit by and just allow you to go unchallenged by all entities with trying to reclaim the White House. I just don't know.
So let me ask you a question: did Trump order those individuals to go into the Capitol and storm the building?
Order, no. I don't think he ordered. I don't think he specifically demanded, but he certainly explicitly stated to go to the Capitol and make your presence felt.
Right.
So that definitely happened. So
But
it wasn't an order the way he would order a general in the military. No.
I can tell you, yo, Chris, you need to go into the mall right now and make your presence known. But if you decide to go into the mall and kill 3 people, I didn't tell you to do that. That's not what I said. So,
but you would get charged with conspiracy for anything that happened after you told me.
No.
After we had a conversation about me going, if you tell me to go, go to the mall and make your presence felt, and then my way of making my presence felt, based on what you told me, is to kill somebody at that place. You would get charged with conspiracy.
No. If I'm telling you, hey, Chris, go to the mall, make your presence felt. I didn't solicit you to go do a crime. That's number one, right? For conspiracy, I have to solicit you and I have to conspire with you to do a crime to be charged with conspiracy.
That's going to be up to the jury at that point. No, that's going to be up to the jury to determine that.
That is the law. That's to be charged.
The prosecutor is going to present that as conspiracy.
They can present whatever they want, but for me to be guilty of it, I have to talk to you.
I didn't say guilty. I said you would be charged. I just said you would be
charged. They can charge
you
whatever they want. But under the law, I'm not going to be found guilty of it because I have to meet a certain criteria. If we're talking and I say, yo, go to the mall, make your presence felt. That's all I said. There's no evidence of me saying anything otherwise. And you go and kill 3 people, that is something I had no knowledge of. We didn't plan that. We didn't do any of that. I just told you go make your presence felt. What you do after that, that's on you. That's your business. That's on you.
I don't. We probably gonna have to agree to disagree because I understand it slightly different, man. I understand it slightly different.
Look. I'm gonna make it very clear, right? So I'm not gonna say I don't believe that there was an insurrection that took place January 6th. I'm not gonna say that. Do I believe people went into the Capitol? Absolutely. There's video footage showing that happened. Do I believe that what the media said is the same as what's shown on the video? Absolutely not. They made it seem like it was this crazy event that took place. People was going wild. The video doesn't show that. So I think the media took this and made it something to equate it to like this crazy terrorism, home terrorism type of event that took place when I don't think it equates to that. I think it's a negative light on our society, and I think it's a negative concept towards like a Republican or towards conservatism and towards individuals that when something's wrong they want to stand for something right. I think it shows a negative light in that, but I don't think it's if I had to compare it, let's say I compared it to the riots that happened in what was it, Minnesota? The BLM riots?
Yeah, George Floyd.
I mean, if I'm looking at video and I'm looking at evidence, which one was worse?
I'm gonna say those weren't government buildings, or that wasn't during
I'm not trying to equate them. They're not the same. I'm just saying as to what looks worse. right? Because
Well,
the
looks
media,
wise for
yeah,
sure, optics
yeah,
wise
that's what I'm saying.
for sure. But I mean, like I said, that that's just way more. That's way more almost planned. That's even that in conspiracy to specifically target a government proceeding on the day of a transfer of power. It literally screams and shouts, "Yo, we conspired to stop that proceeding from taking place." Or why else are you there? The BLM, to your point about the stuff in Minnesota, that was like almost obviously just a trigger reaction to something else that happened. It's not like they was. It's not like people was out there. I mean,
No, wait,
from the
no,
standpoint,
no, no,
like
no. That
I
was they was protesting. It was a
protesting for sure,
protest.
for sure. It was a protest, and I mean, but with the protest, what was the objective other than protesting the fact that a police officer
Yeah,
killed
I'm
an
not.
unarmed man,
I'm not
as opposed?
arguing that. I'm not arguing that. I'm arguing about how they look. That's all I'm saying. I'm not equating them. They're not the same. They're two different events that I said which one looks worse than what the media portrayed. When that happened, the media said, "Oh, it is just peaceful. You know, things got a little out of hand."
I don't think they
Yada yada.
called it peaceful.
Oh,
I don't remember people describing it as peaceful. I don't
bro,
know. I
no,
don't never remember it being described as
look,
peaceful.
they said it was a peaceful protest that got a little out of hand, right? In the beginning. That's what they said. But if you look at the video, it's like burning buildings behind the reporter. I'm like, yo, this looks like a dang
No, I mean, I remember people
terrorism attack,
describing
right?
it as people looting buildings. Like it was made known that yo, people are going out and looting and destroying businesses, quote unquote, in the name of George Floyd. That's why you had people stepping up saying, no, 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 stop this, because this is not how you get justice for this man,
Right.
by going out there and destroying businesses that we started. Because it was a lot of small businesses that got impacted by that rioting in Minnesota. It was called the riot, like it was riots. You know what I mean? So you. I don't think when you describe something as a riot that you can then describe it as a peaceful riot. That's like
No,
an
no, 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 no,
oxymoron.
no, 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 no. I'm saying it started out as a peaceful protest, right? That's what it started out as, all right?
Suppose
It
that's
turned
yeah.
into something. It turned into something that was unspeakable. It could turn into like a battlefield, right? Now, when I'm looking at that, I'm looking at the January 6th. I'm looking at the video. I'm looking at the footage, and then I'm looking at the BLM stuff. Two different incidents. I'm not talking about the impact of them. I'm talking about how it was betrayed by the media, right? One incident was downplayed, while the other incident was negatively talked about more. But then when the footage came out, it didn't look as bad as what people said it looked like. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So if I look at the video footage from BLM riots, right? That's what they call them, Black Lives Matter riots. That look crazy to me. If I look at footage from January 6th, there's 100 different stories that you could talk about in those in that you could take a whole different position. Like, why is that? Well, if that guy's coming in there, why is the police like leading him to this? Why is like I can inquire a lot more things. That's all I'm saying. I'm just talking about the optics. I'm not equating them. I'm not saying one was this, one was that. I'm just looking at how it was delivered and how, as society, we kind of took these two events, and one became like they're comparing this to like a 9/11, January 6th. I'm like, how is that even possible? How you cannot? That is not a comparison to make. 9/11 lost 3,000 Americans. What are you talking about? The January 6th, I think only one person passed away. I think the
No.
cop or something. One or two people
Yeah,
passed away.
it was a cop that died. I remember that year.
It was like one person. So to me, I'm like, that doesn't even equate. So that's all I'm saying. Just the optics of it. I'm not talking about the events. I'm not saying, oh, these are similar. Oh, I'm talking about how they were portrayed by the media, how it made it look, and then that's all I'm talking about. That's it.
Okay.
That's all I'm talking about.
Okay. I mean, good points all around the board. You know, it's going, like I said, when it comes down to Trump and the stuff with the upcoming primaries, he's in for a fight. That's all it's going to come down to. At the end of the day, this ruling by the Colorado Supreme Court is going to be picked up by the United States Supreme Court. That's probably going to happen in all these other challenges and all of the other 12 challenges that's taking place right now as well. So, you gotta get his lawyers on it. Gotta get his lawyers on it.
That's all you can do. That's all he can do. Get the lawyers involved. Let them do what they do. All right. So moving on, we're going to talk about Jonathan Majors. Now, as I said earlier, Jonathan Majors is the famous actor. Played in played in Marvel, was Kang the Conqueror. Played in a few movies. Played in a few series.
3, I think. Yeah.
Creed 3. He has a vast resume. He's played in a couple good movies. Good actor. But he's had an incident that's been going on for a while. Ex-girlfriend. She's saying that he physically assaulted her. She's saying that he physically assaulted her, and that led to a whole big thing, and then he got arrested and all these other things. So what happened recently, right? According to CNN, jury finds Jonathan Majors guilty of assault and harassment. Okay, the actor Jonathan Majors, known for all his Disney roles and playing in Creed 3, was found guilty by a New York jury of assault and harassment against his former girlfriend during a domestic dispute. Now, this article's from CNN, guys. Majors was convicted on one count of reckless assault in the third degree. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with how the degrees are, the higher the degree, the less serious. The lower the degree, the more serious. So third degree is like it's most likely a misdemeanor or like a violation. It's not something that it's not a felony. It's not felony assault.
Yeah, it's a misdemeanor.
So, and then a non-criminal charge of harassment. So non-criminal charge of harassment pretty much means like a civil violation, a ticket or something like that. And then while being acquitted on another assault charge and one count of aggravated harassment. So he got charged with a bunch of things. They tried to get him for aggravated assault, tried to get him for felony charges, but all those got dropped. The only thing he got charged with is reckless assault, third degree, and a non-criminal charge of harassment. Like we said earlier, misdemeanors and probably a ticket. Okay, that's all he's getting. So he's not going to get any jail time. He's most likely not going to get any prison time. This is probably going to be a low level of probation or some type of cost and fines, and then do like an anger management or some type of class or community service, and it's done. That's pretty much how that's going to be. It's not going to be any other punishment more than that I can deduce from. All right. The trial began on December 4th and centered on a March domestic dispute between Majors and his former girlfriend, Grace Jabbari. Majors had pleaded not guilty to misdemeanor charges. Marvel Studios announced that they would not proceed with any future projects involving Majors, including his role as the villain Kang in the upcoming Avengers, The Kang Dynasty. The jury deliberated for approximately 4.5 hours before reaching a verdict. Majors, who was present in court during the reading of the verdict, maintained a serious demeanor and left the courthouse without commenting to the media. Majors' attorney expressed faith in the legal process and his commitment to clearing his name in a statement to CNN. Majors is facing a potential maximum of 1 year in prison for the assault conviction and up to 15 days in jail, plus a $250 fine for the harassment violation. Is scheduled for sentencing on February 6th. His professional future is now uncertain. Now, guys, I'll say this and then I'll pass it over to Chris. When they say maximum sentence, that's like the judge will give you that if you have aggravating factors. What are aggravating factors? Factors that relate to you have a criminal history, you're not working, you're a menace to society. All these things are aggravating factors. Jonathan Majors doesn't have any aggravating factors. All his stuff is mitigating. All he has good things. He has good things going for him. He's an actor. He makes money. He can give to the community. He can do charity work. All those things are probably going to go in his favor, and he's definitely not going to see any prison time for this. I guarantee you that he's not going to see any prison time for this. Now, I don't see any prison time coming out. So his sentencing date is going to be February 6th. So it's about 2 months from now. He'll be sentenced, and he'll probably get, if they don't appeal it, because they can appeal the conviction. So if they appeal it, it could be in an appeal process. They can figure out what they're going to do with that and how long that's going to take. But we'll see. But hey, Chris, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, man. unfortunate to hear. Sad to hear. Um, we weren't there, so we don't necessarily know what happened. But uh, jury found, based on the evidence that was presented, that he should be held accountable for what was it? Reckless assault? You said reckless assault.
It was third degree, one count of reckless assault in the third degree,
Yeah, reckless
and
assault in the
a
third degree.
non-criminal charge of harassment.
Right. So jury found that, based on the evidence presented, that he could be found guilty of those charges. Um, I mean, it's like I said, it's unfortunate to hear. I hate to hear that there was a victim. Hopefully she's all right based on whatever she went through during this experience. Um, I don't know what necessarily he did, obviously, but if you find yourself in a situation where you even think that you're about to be in a domestic situation, it's just better to get up out of there.
Yep.
I seen a video of him running away from her, and maybe he ran a little too late. I don't know what happened prior to the job, the running that he was doing, but apparently something took place prior to that, and so
Yeah.
he might have made the decision to get up out of there a little too late, unfortunately. Now, based on the circumstances and based on the article that you read, it sounds like, it sounds like he about to lose a lot of the opportunities that he worked hard for, man. A lot of the opportunities that he was getting based on the quality of acting that he was presenting. And so, when you hear that Marvel got rid of him the same day that the verdict came out, to me anyway, and not to be like conspiracy theory guy or anything like that, but I think that they already got that position filled. I think that they already know who they have in mind as his replacement, and no sense in dragging it out, or no sense in waiting
Right.
to try and to leave it up to speculation or anything like that. Like, making it clear that they cutting ties immediately. Um, I don't know how many other like production houses or movie companies are going to follow suit. I think he's a dope actor. You know what I mean? I don't think that, and I'm a man, so maybe I'm biased here, and I apologize if I come across as biased, but I don't think that necessarily the charge is warranted for him to lose his entire livelihood. People get charged with worse crimes and still are able to get work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that being said, though, ultimately he did what he did, and he's going to be held accountable for it. Like you said, I don't think he's going to jail. I don't think he's going to be doing any prison time or anything like
No,
that.
none of
So,
that. None of
I
that.
mean, but it's a consequence that I'm sure that he would gladly take that night back to get to be able to keep his career. You know what I mean? So, unfortunate, man. Unfortunate. Hate to see how it happens. I wonder where it goes from here. Like I said, in terms of all the other projects that he probably had coming up, but it's tough, man. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, and man, it's just sad, man, because he's such a good talent, and I think he had a lot to offer, especially with Marvel and any other upcoming roles. And I actually liked him as Kang, and
Me
I
too.
liked him in the Loki series. I think he was a really good, dope actor, and I think he was very versatile. And like you said, I agree with you. I don't think this charge, especially something so minuscule, something so it's a misdemeanor,
Right.
and a non-criminal charge. But he's not going to ever be able to work again. And this happens every time a black actor. I've seen it. Columbus Short, Nate Parker, all these guys that was really good actors, they get into a domestic violence situation, and I'm sorry to say it, but when their counterpart is white, it never turns out to be good. I'm sorry to say it, but it's true. And I don't care what nobody says. It literally, I've seen it every time they get into these situations and their counterparts is white. Something happens of this magnitude. Am I saying it's right? Am I saying it's wrong? No. But what I'm saying is it's a pattern, and it's always when they're on the up and up, when they're doing great. This happens to them. And just to be clear, I ain't never seen a person get charged with assault that ran away. I've never seen that. And he got assaulted. He got that. They charged him with that. He got convicted of that because whatever happened in the car, he was trying to get his phone from her. He's trying to take his phone away. He took his phone away, bent her pinky. So the damage he caused to her pinky, that's why he got assault. That's why he got charged with assault.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I didn't know that.
you got to think about it, right? If it was, because remember, she's the one that got arrested that night. He didn't get arrested. She got arrested because she was the aggravating party. She was the issue. So she got arrested. So how does she get arrested?
So does she got court coming up? Does she got a case?
No.
Oh man.
How did you get arrested that night? You're the aggravating party. You're doing all this, but he gets charged with assault after there's video evidence showing him running away. What person you know assaults someone, runs away? I've never seen that. So it's a lot of questions to be answered. Like I don't know what's gonna happen to him, but I agree with you. I think his whole livelihood should not be destroyed because of it. And we're going off of this case. We're not going off of past things. We're not going off of things that may have happened. We're going off of this case alone. And this case shows me that I really don't think he should have been found guilty of anything, to be honest. But Marvel dropped him because as soon as you're found guilty of something, and it's something of this magnitude, it's not even that serious, but it's something of this, they automatically drop you. And like you said, you've seen people do way worse and get less. So he did something so minuscule, and there's a video of him running 5 miles from where she's at, and he get charged with assault. That's insane, bro. And it's gonna set a nasty precedence because let's say, for example, a situation happens. Me and my wife, when we're chilling, we get into an argument. She grabs my phone. She may see something that she may like or may not like. I grab my phone from her. Yo, give me my phone. And I run away. And my wife is fair-skinned. She's Filipino. She's fair-skinned. So there's no evidence of her being injured. There's no evidence of her being hurt. Just a little damage on her pinky. And I'm going to be charged with third-degree assault because she had damage on her pinky. After I ran away, after there's video evidence of me running away, trying to get away, but she's trying to keep coming after me. She's being the aggressor. Like this is gonna be a nasty precedent. So, as a man, what are you supposed to do? Am I supposed to lay down with my arm behind my back, knowing I'm gonna go to jail? What are you supposed to do?
I don't know, man. I guess you need to keep your phone more secure. I'm the last person to give any advice on that.
I'm just saying, bro. Like this to me, like this sets a nasty precedent. And like you got to think about it, this guy got money. He's a rich actor. Us average people, if we ever get in a situation like that, bro, it's done. We're done.
Yeah.
He's a rich multi-millionaire actor. Average people is not gonna go that well with them. So, like you said, I think, and I kind of hate to say this, but Disney is very quick at firing people when they don't really know the whole story. Now this guy's been convicted; it's very different. But when that stuff was happening with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard and all this stuff was coming out about him, and then come to find out she lied about everything because during the criminal charge she lied about everything, and come to find out none of that stuff happened, and he won his settlement, and then he lost out on all these movie roles. What if this happens where Jonathan Majors appeals the conviction, and people don't realize there could be some prosecutorial misconduct. There could be how the evidence was handled bad. There could be that there's so many things. Like people don't know in a courtroom, there's so many things that could have happened that later, if the appellate court reviews it and come to find out certain stuff wasn't held upon by the law, bro, we can be looking at a mistrial, at an overturned conviction. We can be looking at that. So just because somebody got convicted of something, like I always tell people all the time, just because somebody got convicted of something, we don't know if that person really did what they said he did. We don't know, and we don't know if the prosecutor had a hard on for this individual. Was like, I'm gonna get him by any means necessary. We don't know if the police mishandled how the person was arrested, mishandled evidence from testimony. We don't know any of this stuff.
Right.
So I just say wait and see what I like. I really want to see how this case plans out, and I really don't want this young brother to kind of not be able to act ever again. Because when's the last time you heard of Columbus Short? When the last time you heard of Nate Parker? I haven't heard those names in a long time. And they were two actors. There were two actors who was at that point, and then they got into some domestic issue with their counterparts, their paramours that were Caucasian, and that's what happened to them. So,
yeah, it's tough. And I know we say that about all the topics, man. It's like, damn, it's tough. That's tough. That's tough. But it's tough, man. It's tough. It's hard to hear, like you said, especially being a black man. And then when you start to get into the details of things, it's like, man, oh man, like you said, what do we do? What do you do? How do you respond or take care of yourself in that situation? Because I don't want to necessarily say defend yourself, but how do you take care of yourself in that situation? Like, how do you approach it? It sound like, you and your lady ain't gonna call nobody on each other in them type of situations. It ain't even going, you know what I mean?
Look, I won't even put that in the air or that, but I mean, like, you never know what could happen in those situations. You never know what may or may not happen. So I don't even want to speak it into existence, but you just never know. Like, you never know. And then, somebody who's fair skinned, you could just tap them and they get bruised easily. And it's like, shit, you going to jail.
You're telling me, man.
Yeah. Yeah. If a woman backhand you, they going to jail, brother. So you might be all right in that category.
Shit, I wish.
Yeah, but needless to say, but you got anything else on this topic? We can move on. If you got anything else, we can still talk about it.
Prayers and condolences to everybody involved. Like I said, hopefully the young lady isn't traumatized based on her experiences. Hopefully, Jonathan Majors is able to continue along with his career and be prosperous in whatever he endeavors in. Man, prayers to everybody.
Absolutely. And like I said, this is not something where we're just anti-victim. Absolutely not. But this case just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know about how Chris feels about it, but to me, especially someone that knows law and does and works in that type of setting, I don't understand this at all.
Nah, it's a head scratcher. It's a head scratcher.
But it is what it is. But moving on. So, last thing we're talking about. Leave the World Behind. I don't know if you guys seen it. Let me just put this out there. Spoiler alert. This is the part of the podcast. If you don't want to know what you don't know about this movie, or if you don't want to be spoiled, this is the part where you kind of just skip over and not pay attention to it and just say, thanks, guys, for the podcast. But if you want to know and you see the movie, we're going to give our honest review about this movie. So I'm just going to give a brief synopsis of the movie. And this is from IMDb, their summary of the movie. So, pretty much this movie is Amanda and Clay's aspirational vacation with their teenage children is interrupted by the arrival of a middle-aged man and his daughter who own the holiday home and who have fled an unprecedented blackout in the city. When the internet, television, and radio stop working, so does the landline. They have no way of finding out what is happening, as strange sonic booms shatter the peace of the countryside and animals start to migrate in strange ways. The physical and mental health of the families begins to disintegrate. The renters are upscale and white. The owners are upscale and black. The issues of race clash and become distractions. So the more alarming things are happening all around them. So, Chris, how did you like the movie, bro? What did you like about it?
If I'm being honest, from a strictly entertainment standpoint, I didn't enjoy it at all. I didn't enjoy it at all. I turned it on. I watched it for a good 10 minutes, and then I was like, "This is gonna be one of them ones." So I turned it off because I was like, I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
Right.
And then I went back to it. I thought that the concept was very interesting. I thought that the like you said, like IMDb describes, the dynamic of race and the level of like obvious uncomfortability from the white family that the black family had come to their residence was very interesting. Um, it was a good watch overall. Like I said, entertainment wise, it was a little wasn't the most entertaining thing, but story was like I guess storytelling wise and conceptually, it was cool. It was cool. The way they included in our like I guess dependence, for lack of a better word, on our technology and on
Ooh.
our smart devices and things like that was very spot on, if you ask me. Like it was definitely spot on, and it was a good watch. It was definitely a good watch. I would recommend it, and it's probably one of the movies that, like, especially for somebody like me, you might want to watch it more than once. That way, you catch on to all the references to some of the stuff going on in the world today, for sure.
Yeah, I think good take on that, by the way. I think with
Thank you.
this movie, I think it's something that is a force. It's being foreseen. Like it's a predictive type of thing, because you have the Obamas come in, give their their input. Former president talking about, okay, how would a cybersecurity attack take place? This is what I'm going to give. This is kind of somewhat accurate, so that's kind of scary, right? You have, and I kind of, I'm gonna be honest. As I'm getting older, I really hate movies that focus on a lot of race clashing. Like I really don't care about that anymore, to be honest. Like it is what it is, but I don't want to see it every time I'm watching something. Like I don't want to watch a woke movie every time. When I'm in the mood for it, I love to watch the movies that I grew up with that I like.
Nah,
You
for
know,
sure,
Malcolm
for
X,
sure.
X. Those are movies I love. X. Um, what's another good movie? The Thurgood
Ray.
Marshall. I love movies about movies about black characters. I love those. I don't care about movies where it's white this, black this. I could care less about it. Show me about black individuals striving to do good and do better. I don't care about these type of movies. But needless to say, that's my little rant. But so what really got me was and the way IMDb kind of put it, like, you know, they're white upscale, they're black upscale. To me, I thought the black folks was upscale. I thought the white people was a little lower than them.
Yeah, yeah,
Speaking of,
yeah. I
like,
didn't think they was on
yeah,
the same
yeah.
stature, for sure.
No, I didn't. Not at all, at all. So that's a kind of negative on IMDb. I don't know why they said that. And then what first got me was, you know, you rent an Airbnb in the countryside, like in the Hamptons or whatever in New York State. Cool. You go there with your family, have a good time. But the thing that got me was like, why the hell? Why I would not? I'm gonna be honest with you. That was me and my family. I wouldn't allow. Even if you own the house, yo, can I? No, I paid for this, bro. Get the hell out of here.
Bro, and
Like
that's why
that's
I like
crazy to me.
the fact that IMDb, I mean, the fact that anybody would point out the dynamic of race involved. It's like, yo, fam, I could have been a black
Yeah,
person staying in that Airbnb, and if another black person just
yeah.
showed, like, anybody, don't matter what color you is, if you just show up at my
Anybody, you
Airbnb,
ain't coming in here.
yo, you
What?
under
You
no
not coming in
circumstances is you
here,
coming in here. I didn't stay at too many
bro?
Airbnbs.
None.
Ain't none of the owners ever showed up and said, yo, I'm
That's
staying
what
the
I'm
night.
saying. So that to me is fraudulent, because I'll never, even if I was anywhere, like we've been in Airbnbs together. You think somebody, we was in Houston, you think somebody, you gonna allow the owner to come here? Yo, I need to spend the night. Yo, get out of here, bro.
Yo, ain't nothing
You
in
ain't
your
coming in
check-in
here.
instructions say something
Yeah,
about you showing up at the
exactly,
spot to spend the night
exactly,
somewhere. Like, you must be out
exactly.
your mind.
So
Yo,
that to me, I didn't like that.
mm-mm.
Julia Roberts' character, Julia Roberts, for you guys don't know, she's the female protagonist, and then Ethan Hawke plays her husband. Now, Ethan Hawke struck me as a weak man. He's a weak man, weak man. So that to me, I didn't like that because it doesn't show any masculinity, right? Then we
Right.
meet Mahershala Ali's character. You know, black man. You know, upscale, a little bit of the bourgeoisie, and then his daughter. His daughter's more of the black liberal, intelligent, witty, that type of, entitlement type of a female. So she kind of clashes with Julia Roberts' character because they're two different females. And then the other thing I didn't like the fact that they were so focused, ingrained on technology, like Chris spoke of. Like, are we that reliant on technology? We don't know how to do anything. we don't know how to do anything. Like, are we that reliant on it? And then as the movie progresses, it's like, y'all don't know how to do anything. Like, y'all don't know how to do nothing. Like, nobody knows how to do anything. Like, nobody knows how to rely on research. So that kind of got me. And then when all that stuff was happening, cyber attacks and everything like that, Mahershala knew about it. So they go to this guy, Kevin Bacon's character. Yo, we need to get medicine for my son, blah, blah, blah. So they go there. Kevin Bacon plays like the resourceful, kind of crazy, conspiracy theorist guy, but he has everything they need: the medicine, guns, water, all that. So the thing that really bugged me out was Ethan Hawke's character pleading with this man, saying, "I'm a useless man. I don't know how to do anything.
I am
without my
a
phone.
useless man.
I am a useless man." So to me, any man watching that, if you're a masculine man, you would never say that. Especially if this dude had. Hold on, let me finish, bro. If he had a gun, because Kevin Bacon had a gun, he had a shotty. Yo, you're not gonna shoot me, dude. I'm taking that medicine. I'm gonna go up there and take it from you. You gonna shoot me right now. I'm gonna take that medicine from you. I've never heard of a man say I'm useless. Okay, I don't know what to do because I don't have my phone. I don't know anything. Like, that's crazy to me. But go ahead, bro. I'll let you go ahead and chime in on that.
Nah, I wasn't even jumping in. Yo, everybody has their vulnerable moments, right? You might be feeling like internally like, yo, I let my family down, or I let my girl down, or I didn't hold my weight in X, Y, and Z. I ain't never jumped out my skin and said, I am a useless man. I have no use. I have no cell phone, so I am useless. Like, what the heck? And you're supposed to be there, like you said. He there to get medicine for his kid. You got somebody in the car that might be dying, teeth falling out his freaking mouth, like spitting up, like it looks disgusting, and you screaming, "I am a useless man."
Yeah,
bro, I never seen nothing like that in my life, yo.
It was a lot of virtue signaling. It was a lot of like whoever would say that in a movie. So that kind of I didn't really like that, and I didn't realize that until later when we was talking in the group chat about it. I said, "Yo, this is really." I'm now thinking about it. Yo, who would ever say that? So
at another man, though, you talking at another
man,
bro. I was like, yo.
So that got me the Julia Roberts character and Ethan Hawke's character, their daughter, really got on my nerves. She didn't listen. She didn't follow direction. That goes to show you about this young youth nowadays. I think that kind of paints a picture. They don't listen. They don't follow direction. She wanders off, does what she wants. Ends up going to a house to watch the last episode of Friends, which is the house that
kids get beat no more, man. Why is it's called corporal punishment, right?
Corporal punishment, yeah.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. Kids need they behinds whoop, man. Like, yo, if at the very least a popping or something, bro. Like, because why did this little girl feel like she didn't have to listen to nobody and just do whatever she wanted to do?
Ain't listen to nobody. Ran away. Mom and them was looking for her. Everybody was looking for her crazy. And to me, I think a lot of it kind of goes to like, well, speaking of this generation, like a lot of times, like you got kids that's being raised by their parents, but their parents in their 30s. Their parents is young. They got young parents. So it's like you got young people raising other young people, and it's like a domino effect. And then a lot of people don't have like a strong role model to kind of be the voice of like, yo, y'all, you got to do this, you got to do that, blah, blah, blah. like, or even a strong-willed mom to kind of say, "Yo, this is what got to happen." So a lot of those things, it's not like how we grew up in the 90s and the 2000s where you did anything wrong, you was getting your butt. Well, you could look a wrong direction, you getting your butt whipped. Even me as a parent now, I discipline my son, and you know, sometimes it's effective, sometimes it's not, but I'm still consistent with it. So he do something bad, he get a punishment. I don't see that happening with these young kids nowadays. I don't know what people are doing to them. I don't know what's happening. So it's just a matter of how society is now. They look at corporal punishment as something that's barbaric, which is not, but because it's been around for thousands and thousands of years, but they look at it as something that's barbaric, and people don't utilize it as often anymore.
Yeah, I'm definitely not trying to tell nobody how to raise their children or anything like that. I don't have any. I'm raising this one, so that's all I got. But yeah, I mean, you see, and like you said, I could see if that was just like a super exaggeration, but that's an accurate representation of these kids, man. It's an accurate representation of these kids,
don't listen.
man.
Wander off, do what they want. But let me just end with this on the lead world behind. I think when you watch movies like this that forecast like what could happen, cybersecurity attack, this, that, and, like, it's scary. It's scary because, you know, if an EMP, you know, and the people don't know what an EMP is, electromagnetic pulse. The EMP was to be set off here by one of our annexes or individuals that don't like us, like China, Iran, you know, Russia, you know, those individuals that don't like us, and they set off an EMP, we wouldn't have any connection to electricity whatsoever. Boats you wouldn't be able to ride in no boat. You wouldn't be able to fly in no airplane. Everything would be cut off and disconnected. You couldn't do anything. You would literally have to be living as we did 2,000, 3,000 years ago without technology. Yeah. Now, needless to say, that's dangerous because that leaves us vulnerable for attack because our defenses are down. So it's just pretty scary, you know. And then when you read up and you hear about, because this is all about like doomsday prepping and all that, you hear about Mark Zuckerberg building like $100 million bunker in a doomsday bunker in Hawaii for himself and his family. Like, what's coming down the pike? Why is he doing that? Why is a multi-billionaire building $100 million bunker in Hawaii? Like, what's causing him to do that? Like these things, these questions have to be answered. Is this something where, like I talked about earlier, predictive program? Is this something that the media wants us to see, and that when it happens, it's a little test, and then we kind of see it happening? Like the other day, this kind of ties into it. I went to Wawa to go put gas. My car is empty. That Wawa was closed, right? The Wawa inside the Wawa was closed, and then the credit card system was down, so you can't pay nothing. So what's happening now? What are societies going with now? Societies want to be cashless, right?
Yeah.
So what happens if you become a cashless society? You can't use any cash. Everything's electronic. But what happens if the electronic servers are down and you don't have money, but everything's electric? What are you gonna be able to do if things go left, things go awry? Can't do anything.
Nothing.
So I urge people, and I tell people all the time, you know, if you're not a felon, and you know you're not mentally ill, go buy some weapons. Go buy some weapons because stuff's about to go down, it's about to hit the fan. And what do people do when stuff about to go crazy? They start to riot and loot and do all this craziness. I don't know if people have seen movies like War of the Worlds, I Am Legend, Oblivion, all those end of days movies. People want to go into other people's houses and do crazy things. Last of Us, like all these things. You have to be prepared. You have to prepare yourself. Learn how to shoot. Learn how to build a fire. Learn how to, like, these are simple things that we gotta learn how to do as men and women too. Like, because if things happen where EMP happens or a nuclear bomb hits, what are you gonna be able to do?
Take it back to the old school.
Take it back to the old school. Like, and I'm good. I'm set. I got me a nice little case of ammo. I got me a few weapons. So if anybody try to come where I'm at, please beware. I'm coming out like Deadpool with these joints. So please be aware. Like, I'm coming out, boom, a Kimbo style, pow, like that. So just be aware, like, it's not gonna go down as easy as you think it is. But
Sure.
this is the word to the wise, because they coming out with these type of movies, and they got a president giving insight to it, saying, "Yeah, we think this is gonna be accurate," and then people don't know in the movie, it's like a propaganda thing, because it's multiple countries, because they're getting multiple letters. It's different languages, so it's multiple countries hitting on the U.S. So if people pay attention to the news, what are the countries right now that don't like the United States? China, Iran, and Russia all speak 3 different languages. What am I the only one putting pieces together? That sounds dangerous to me, bro. I'm just saying, if they got on cold, we'd be in big trouble. We'd be in big trouble.
Talking scary stuff now.
Yeah, bro. I'm just saying, bro. Just pay attention, bro. Like, and it's like in your face. Like, you just put 2 and 2 together. Like, the letters that they got. Oh, they got 3 different ones. They're in 3 different languages. That's kind of weird. Doesn't the U.S. have a couple enemies that speak different languages? Yeah. What are they? Russia, Iran, China, and North Korea. Oh, wow. Come on, make it make sense.
That was 4, but I feel you.
I'm just saying. I added North Korea in there because I forgot about them for a second, but I'm just saying, man. These movies, they put these movies out here, and then they don't expect people to put 2 and 2 together, but it's like, this is scary shit, man. Even though the novel, like I wouldn't have really been on like this, not conspiracy, but been on this like this deductive thinking and trying to figure out and making assumptions if they didn't have the Obamas involved. But because President Obama was involved with this, and he's giving accurate insight of how this could look.
Do we know what insight he gave? I want to know what insight he gave
of how a cybersecurity attack could happen. That's what he gave insight on.
All right, I need the articles for that. I need the proof for that, because y'all this deductive thinking be killing me.
All right, hold on. Let me Google it. World left behind Obamas. Okay, here we go. Boom. All right. Right here. Here it is. All right. I have been interested in doing a disaster movie for a while, and I specifically wanted to do one surrounding a cyber attack because I don't think a lot of people have a concrete idea of what that would look like or how detrimental it would be, not just in America, but globally. Oh, okay, hold on. The impact, So how the Obamas involved, Email recently debunked conspiracy theories that were swirling around the film, rooted around the former president, and now he's setting the record straight. The Obama, let me keep going. Because President Obama is such a movie lover, he really focused his notes on trying to cinematically portray what was in the book in a really interesting way. So that sounds like he gave input, right? Right?
No.
You said no?
Man. It sounded like it said that he wanted to cinematically portray what was in the book that the movie is about. I don't hear nothing in there that says that President Obama is the one providing the insight on the cybersecurity or the EMPs and what would happen if there was a cyber hack.
So wait, so you don't think Obama said when it was coming up with this? God dang it! When it was coming up with the set, you don't think Obama said, when I was president, I think it'll be more accurate if we did it like this and focus a little bit on that and change this up a little bit. You don't think he said anything about that? You just think, oh yeah, that is what it is. You just think, oh yeah, he just loves movies so much. That's what you think.
I mean, I'm not going to sit up there and play stupid as if he might not be the expert on what could potentially happen. So I'm sure he did help out in terms of uh helping the movie be more accurate in terms of what will realistically happen in the event that this were to occur. Excuse me. But I mean, I think it's as simple as that, like making sure that the movie is as realistic as possible. I don't know what book is referring to, so you
Right
got
here. So I'm about to add this, right? And this is the director of the film, right? He said, I think the silly thing about the whole thing is President Obama really came on a couple months before we started shooting. So the script had basically been written and done. He continued. He obviously gave notes on the script, but bones of the story and the sequences were already written. What the hell were the notes? What were the notes? What are in the notes?
He just
What
said
are in
the
the notes?
script was already written.
What was in the notes, bro? What was in the notes, bro? If he would have said Obama came and just sat on set to just watch.
But he's not there just to watch. He's there to give notes. He's there to help.
What are notes, bro? What if I am a former president and it's a movie about cybersecurity attack? What the hell do you think the notes are about, bro? What the hell do you think? You think the notes is about this should take place in Washington D.C. instead of Philadelphia?
I just told you.
What do you think?
I just told you.
Like, what do you think, bro? Like, you serious?
Bro. Yo, deductive thinking for you, man. Seriously,
like,
yeah.
No, bro, because you got like okay, let's put it in perspective. If it was just like, because this is an article from Forbes I'm reading off of, right? If it was just notes about set, time and place, if it would be okay, we more accurate.
We don't even know what the notes was.
Right. Listen. If it wasn't such a big deal, then why doesn't he say he gave notes on this, that, and the third? Why are you not saying that, sir?
Because why is that necessary to the actual quality of the movie? It don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Like, it don't matter, and we don't know specifically.
If everybody's saying conspiracy theory and they want to debunk it so bad, then why don't you say Obama provided notes on X, Y, and Z? That's it.
Because it makes people want to watch it more if you don't know. It makes the intrigue around them. It makes the intrigue around the movie more when you just say Obama the Obamas contributed to the movie, or the Obamas were provided notes on the script of the movie. It makes it that much more intriguing. If you go into the movie saying, "Oh, the Obamas helped us, but they specifically helped us with this and had nothing to do with this," then it's like, "Oh, okay." They just was there to be a regular ass producer. When you want people to go into it thinking that, oh, they the reason that the movie is as real as it is, or presents itself to be as realistic as it seems it was.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't know about the Obamas was on this joint until after I watched the movie. Like, I thought they were directors. Like, I thought this was a director debut of President Obama.
Now, if they were directors on it, you would literally be on them more. You would be on them more, because then at that point they got way more control in the movie. Was they even listed as producers? I don't even remember seeing him as a producer in the movie. Yeah, they not.
I don't think. I said they had involvement. I never said they was. I said they had involvement.
Ain't nothing to it, man.
Just like the director said. President Obama came. He seen what was on set. He provided us with notes. Sir, what was in those notes? I can't say. Why not?
Because why would you spoil Why would you spoil the creation of the movie for the sake of everybody else not to think about it?
Hold on. And then what I just read, when Obama came on, the script was already done, right? So it was already done. So the notes, it shouldn't have meant nothing, right?
We don't even know what they meant. He never said.
Yeah, okay. So once again, if the notes were meaningless, then why don't you just say, "Oh, he just provided notes on, this could have took place in New York instead of Washington D.C. because of the vast architectural or like, then okay, that's fine.
That
Why wasn't that said?
spoils intrigue. That ruins the creative
man,
process of the movie.
if you don't think,
he told you enough information to make you interested in it.
bro, listen, if you don't think they had notes that specifically related to something that may or may not happen, or something that could be happening, or with the right type of involvement from these accesses or people that don't like America, what they could be doing to us, bro, then what are you doing? What are you doing? You're not putting everything together, man. Now, if I read this article and it said President Obama was on set, he watched it with his wife, they had a good time, they were on set. They gave a few thoughts. A few thoughts. Oh, that's nothing. I ain't worried about that. Notes? Where that book at?
What you mean, man? At this point, yo, the notes could have literally just been here, President Obama, read the script and proofread the script and correct anything that might seem far fetched in there, and or if anything, tell me how to say this or how to make this seem realer throughout the script.
You know, we're never gonna know. It'll probably be like another 50, 100 years. They'll be like, oh, you know, President Obama, the movie World Left Leave Behind predicted this, and the notes actually said, well, we're never gonna know that. We're never gonna know that. Oh, I did want to talk about one last thing.
What's up?
How do you feel about? I seen an article about Jeffrey Epstein, and then finally they're gonna unseal the names. I think of people that he that visited the island, or people that it's like 170 names. They're finally gonna unseal that. How do you feel about that?
It's gonna get messy out here, man.
Yeah,
it's gonna get messy out here. We didn't already talked about we talked about one lawsuit with Diddy, but there was a myriad of other ones that we could have been talking about. It was a lot that happened over the past few weeks, so it sounds like it's about to get messy. Jeffrey Epstein was a predator, as far as everything that we know about him. And so anybody that was up there engaging with him, it sounds like it's about to be it's going to be a long next couple months for y'all.
Yeah.
And we don't know if anybody going to get charged from it. But it's going to get goofy out here, man. It's going to get real goofy, and a lot of people. It sounds like it's going to be some people that get exposed, man. It sounds like it's going to be some people that's got a lot of explaining to do coming up. So, man, what you think about it?
I think all of them need to be arrested and charged and thrown under the jail. They all were co-conspirators. They were all part of it. They all knew what that island was. They all knew what if you went there,
talk about it.
You was gonna engage in sexual activity with a female that was underage or coerced.
Talk about it.
So I think that I don't care who's on that list. It can be Bill Clinton. It could be Bill Gates. It could be Elon Musk. They need to be in the prison. I don't care who it is. They need to be investigated about it, because this man, so-called suicide, killed himself, Jeffrey Epstein. And then it's like, oh, nothing ever. We're not worried about what the other people. What? Excuse me, why not? That's pretty vital. If you had an island, you were running, and you had all these people coming to this island, and the island was for him to go do sexual activities with underage females, because his girlfriend Ghislaine was over here recruiting him like it was nobody's business. You need to figure out what those other people were doing. What was Bill Gates doing at the island? What was Bill Clinton doing there? What was George Soros doing there? What was Warren Buffett doing? Like, whoever's name it is, they need to be held accountable. Just like with the whole R. Kelly situation. Yes, R. Kelly was disgusting. He needed to rot in jail. Done. But the parents, the security guards, the record execs, the A&R individuals, everybody that was rolling with him at the time, jail. Go to jail right now.
I feel that.
Jail. They were all accomplices of letting this predator roam the streets like some goddamn disgusting man he is. And nobody said a word about it. That's a problem. Similar to Jeffrey Epstein. Maybe he had blackmail on it. I don't know what he had. on him. But they need to be held accountable.
I agree. I agree. Well said.
Yeah. They need to be held accountable. But I think that's it, bro. Do you have anything else you want to add to conclude the show?
No, man. It was another dope episode. This is probably one of my favorite episodes so far. So I'm loving this one, man. Appreciate all the support that we've been getting. Make sure you go check us out. Check out episode 8 that we did last week, man. Especially on the wrestling stuff. If you're a wrestling fan, if you grew up on wrestling like we did, go check out episode 8. Go check out all the episodes prior to this one. Listen, we all inclusive here. We said that at the beginning. We're going to conclude with that as well. We all inclusive. We want everybody to come check out the videos, whether you black, white, Asian, Native American, Republican, Democrat,
Portuguese,
independent,
whatever you are.
Yo, Filipino, like it, whatever you are, whatever you identify as, straight, gay, bisexual, lesbian, LGBTQIA plus, how you know what I mean? Whatever you give it up as, you're welcome here. You always have a place here. Our topics is going to be what our topics are. We talk about the things that we passionate about, that we find interesting, or that we feel is relevant. So thank you for checking us out. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on all social media, specifically Instagram. Yeah, that's it for me, man. Thank y'all. I appreciate all the support.
Yep. Thank you, guys. Peace and love. Have a good holiday. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays. We out.
Peace.